Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to tell you about an annual project by second-year BA Theatre Design students at Wimbledon College of Arts. This project is made in partnership with the National Theatre Archive and specifically with the work of the designer Jocelyn Herbert, whose archive is the only complete archive of a single designer in the National Theatre's collection. With over 4,000 drawings, scale models and related artifacts, Jocelyn Herbert's archive covers the period 1956 to 1998 and contains her work for the first productions by many notable playwrights, including Samuel Beckett, John Osborne, Tony Harrison, and David Storey. Also by notable directors, such as Lindsay Anderson, John Dexter, Tony Richardson, and Sir Peter Hall. Such was Jocelyn's status in the theatre world that she was invited by Laurence Olivier to be part of the committee that planned the National's new building on London's South Bank, and over which she exerted considerable influence on the shaping of the auditoria. Animating the archive focuses on creative ways of looking at theatre and performance archives and developing dynamic ways to respond to them, using Jocelyn's archive as a starting point. In previous years, students were able to visit the National Theatre Archive, look at Jocelyn's work together, and physically meet each other in their groups to work on their outcomes. This year, because of the coronavirus, the project had to be reimagined by the student's second-year tutor, Dr. Sophie Jump, as an online project. As the students were in different parts of the UK and sometimes based in other countries, this meant that they had to collaborate online to create their presentations. Also, the groups could not visit the archive this year. However, they could access the material online and ask to see other artifacts relevant to their research. Sophie chose the subject of politics as this year's research theme, and a series of artifacts from plays designed by Jocelyn Herbert were chosen for research and inspiration. Online presentations and tutorials were provided by a distinguished group of academics who have a special interest in Jocelyn's archive. The students worked in groups of 5 or 6. Each group of students chose an artifact from Sophie's selection, and during the following 2 weeks, created a collaborative response based on the research theme of politics. The responses could take various forms, for example, a short performance, a recreated design, a visual and verbal presentation, or a text spoken aloud. One of the 4 groups was selected to be part of this symposium. This group has chosen to respond to Jocelyn's 1979 designs for Bertolt Brecht and Kurt Weill's 1930s political and satirical opera, The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahogany. The video you're about to see not only demonstrates the students' online collaboration, but also examines how digital and social media can be used to make a presentation that, in a contemporary Brechtian way, deliberately exposes its methodology.
一觉下去，一睡可以睡7个小时。
I want to catch myself. What are those weird sounds?
That would never really happen.
Met New York. I want to catch myself.
Who knows?
Why would you want to?
I love science.
1979. Mahogany? Yeah, 1930.
像别人一样，晚上睡觉，早上起床。
What I'm getting at is, I guess it's the beginning. It's the beginning of things. I'm dreaming, dreaming, I guess.
ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar.
If the state wishes to spend more, it can do so only by borrowing your savings or by taxing you more. And it's no good thinking that someone else will pay. That someone else is you. There is no such thing as public money. There is only taxpayers' money. The ladies not for
Okay, let's start this. So it seems like there is no right way of doing the design, just right approach. Okay, so what was missing for the palm tree? Utopian world for me. So maybe these stories I would love to relive. My grandma and grandpa, they did travel. They did travel with sidecar through the Soviet Union in 60s. It was oh yeah, let's put some, I wonder what kind of colors it has. Where are they going? They want to go to Syria, the promised land.
But I also...
Is it real?
Am I missing out on?
Protest, we need more here. Homosexuality, racism, women rights, peace, hippie, equal rights, rainbows, and continue. Politics is not necessarily bad, but I mean, I'm creating this. Made it rain. For them, it's reality. Okay, let's stop the rain. They're soaking wet. So, where are they going? They want to go to... They're going to the city. Where is it? Does it exist? Sure it does. I made it. See, I'm doing it. Wait. Now what?
甚至是一个长江，一脚下去的往回，再不是。
I create my identity.
For only $275.
I already paid for this sort of spirituality, but now I need to upgrade my license, my identity, my subscription. So, what exactly? I preserve my identity. What exactly am I missing out on? Is it better guru or more advice? I'm constantly reinventing myself, and I feel like I'm not enough, and the only way I can get forward and be better is by buying this spirituality. And when does it end? But I also destruct my identity. Pay for the the most expensive retreat, the most expensive subscription. I just don't understand. Don't worry, it's only $275.
下去，我在给自己无数的压力，强逼着自己，让自己变好，变强。可我什么都做不到。什么都做不好。
I hope you can hear me actually, but congratulations. I mean, it's fabulous to see, and it's developed so much since I saw it last. A really great narrative. Before my question, I just want to say actually, I hope the other students who are part of this project are in the audience, because it was a really high standard, and it was actually very, very difficult to make the choice, and they were all very, very different. So we weren't really looking at comparing like with like. But it's been very good this year, and I think we've all the people who taught on it are delighted about how it's worked out, given all the problems. I'm hoping the students can hear me, and my question is really, which is a quick one because I know there's going to be a lot of others, but the rise and fall of Mahogany is a really political opera, and it's a very apt metaphor for political chaos, I think, in any era. And what I was interested in is, was that the reason you chose it? And if so, can you talk about the difference between your approach and Jocelyn Herbert's, and perhaps, you know, her morality, how her morality and conscience affected her designs, and how your morality and conscience affected your work? I can see Rosalie and Raffi. So anybody, please.
Yeah, I can answer that. I think, like you say, yeah, we definitely chose Mahogany because it was, like you say, it represents so many political movements. Like you could apply it to all sorts of things, and it kind of what we could recognize it no matter what age we were or where we were from. I guess we took the fundamental idea through like Jocelyn's eyes of trying to understand. So we each took different significant eras of political like distress or something in Jocelyn's life, to kind of build an understanding of what she'd encountered, and then from that we then took our own personal responses, and we had this overarching idea of social media politics because we really wanted to develop her ideas and bring them into the 21st century and think, how would she have approached it maybe now, given everything that we've got these days. So we kind of, yeah, developed it using our own responses, both to the research we'd done into the things that happened during Jocelyn's life, and then also the things that we've experienced in our life. So yeah, that's what our aim was.
Yeah, that's a great answer, thanks. I love I particularly like the way you use the messaging on the iPhones. I think that worked really well. Kelly, are there any more questions?
I have some that we went through yesterday, so maybe I could just read out some of those for the students to go through. Did you guys discuss any other ways of doing the project before you decided to do it in the way that you did? Isabelle, do you want to ask that question?
Hi. we had a few discussions with we would have liked to probably have a couple more options of different ways to do it, but with having to be distanced from each other, a film sort of like a film where we all make our own little bit and then add it all together seemed like the way that we could sort of tell the narrative the best way. And with the film, we all had a different like key historical part of Jocelyn's life and her career. So we all gave each other those, and then we all worked on our own individual films and then put it together. So yeah, I think that was a good method that we used. That answers your question.
That's great, thank you. Sonya, did anything surprise you about the project and the way your work developed as you were working on it?
Hello. Yes, it was exciting the whole way through because yeah, we were socially distanced and we had to do everything from a distance. So we, enabling ourselves to work independently along as well as collaboratively gave a sort of different experience. And the solo experience of working alone, but knowing that you're going to have to produce something for your group kind of gave pressure in a good sense. And then once we came together, everything sort of began to make more sense. And, the pace of the project and the collaboration sped up a lot more as we started working more together. It felt at the beginning, the individual process was much more slower and extended, and then eventually it became a lot more tighter. And you can kind of see also in the film the sort of change of tension towards the end. Everything's more together, but it also kind of reflects our collaborative process. So yeah.
Thank you. Eva, was working with a theatre designer's archive beneficial to you in the way that you thought about your work, and if so, why?
Hi everyone. Yes, absolutely, it was beneficial because one of our tasks was to choose a artifact, and from there on, depart from the artifact, put it in the film. And I think it kind of steered us into using stop motion because we chose different artifacts, but yet they kind of introduce the same approach, I'm guessing. And for my part of the film, I think it, even the shapes, the colors are used besides the theme and the topics we discussed. But yeah, absolutely. And I wish we would be able to go and physically touch them and see them. However, the National Theatre Archive, they allowed us full access, and it was a good experience. Yeah.
Great, thank you all. Back to Peter and Eilyn. I'm monitoring the chat, but I haven't got any further questions.
Okay, I just want to ask one question of you all, which is, yeah, I know we were just watching a film. Would you call it a film or a performance that you made? Or, in the sense of, I'm asking that question.
Perhaps it's a performance of our experiences and our feelings towards the work and the task. I dare to say maybe it's a blend, future of the staging, perhaps.
Thank you. Isabelle.
Just adding on that, I think also the performance side of it was also like the making of it, because one of our things that we decided like way back, because with sort of the Brechtian style, there was always like the element of it not being completely real, and like you could see the makings of it while it was going on. So we always said that we'd have our hands in it. So even though it's not like a figurative performance really, we've always got like our hands in, and that's sort of our add-on of like performing in it. But yeah.
Thank you.
I'm really sorry that you didn't have the opportunity to get your hands on the archive, but we're lucky actually in the sense that it's all been really well digitized. And so you know, as you said, you had special access, so you were able to kind of look at everything in that way. But I'm also actually very sorry that you haven't today been able to kind of, you know, deliver your presentation on stage at the National Theatre, so to speak, which is what the previous groups had to do. But I think your answers are really great, actually. And I actually haven't really got another question because I've asked my question. I'd like to see, I'd like to give the opportunity to others. Kelly, so have we got any more?
Sophie Jump has just said a question here. Can you imagine translating this into a live version in a space with an audience?
I think that would be definitely a very, I haven't thought about it, but now thinking about it, I think again, as I think Ieva was saying, that it's definitely like a blend of whether it's performance and film. I think if we were to stage it, it would have to be a blend of digital and physical like design, because I think like Ieva's part was very her using Photoshop and digital mediums, whereas me and Izzy used more analog kind of ideas. So I think it would be interesting to see what kind of mix would be put on stage if we did do it live.
Good, thank you very much. And one from Joe Howcroft. The visuals were brilliant, but I was also really enjoying the soundscape. How did you come up with the sound design? Anybody going to answer that?
Yeah, maybe I will give word to Sonya afterwards, because her soundscaping was great. But I think we were going along the lines with Brecht and didn't want it to, how to say, to put too much of fakeness into it. So as I was narrating my stop motion, I used sounds that were around me to kind of invite people into my environment here. I literally sat here where you can see me now and did my film. So I used sound of cup, sound of my mouse hitting the table, and sounds that invite me in the space where I'm now creating this. So therefore, perhaps they would more realistically feel about our work. So not using too much of a, you know, because the imagery visuals already are a lot to process. So we had to be very careful. Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt everybody because I know Eilyn's wants to finish up with talking about the archive project and opening this up, and I know we've got to finish at 2:30. So
okay, thanks very much.
Thank you very much, students. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. So all stay there for a minute, but Eilyn's just going to finish off.
This has been very quick, actually. It's really to any course directors of other theatre courses. I know that Erin Lee, who's head of archive at the National Theatre, is very keen to roll this project out. Particularly, in fact, you know, to people outside London, now that we've developed a kind of a digital version of the project. And there's also a film. Last year, we filmed the whole project from its beginning at Wimbledon, when we early stages, right through to the performance, which was then at the Claw Centre at the National Theatre. And that's available on the in the Jocelyn Herbert archive under resources. And I think in a minute, Mara, you're going to put up a slide with the details about the archive. And this does actually mean that this does open up the project to, as I said, people outside, students outside London, but also internationally. And I know Erin and actually Jocelyn's family, who've been enormously supportive and generous about their use of Jocelyn's archive would also like this very much indeed. I think I sometimes think Jocelyn would think we're all a bit mad to do so much with her archive, but I know that she would really love this particular use of her archive by students. Thanks very much.